Dylan, I know that everybody wants to know how you feel about facing your old teammates. So let's start there. How do you feel about facing your old teammates?
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's just like another day of football, but ultimately when it comes down to it, the mindset, preparation, it won't change for me. So if you get caught up too much in it, then, you kind of end up overanalyzing and find yourself in an uncomfortable position, and that's not how I want to play. So much rather be much more comfortable, and that's just prepping the same way I have for every game this season.
Do you think there will be some guys that are friendly and funny about it, but maybe a couple that are like mean about it before? Because there's always a wide array of teammates, right?
Yeah, actually, yesterday I already had one of my teammates text me after I put a picture of my mom's cinnamon rolls from General Conference, and he said, well, you better eat all those cinnamon rolls now before I come and eat all the cinnamon rolls. And as a matter of fact, it was the punter, so so there's gonna be a few guys who, maybe 2 or 3 who take it kind of a personal thing, and the rest will just, enjoy the chance to be out there together because, they're close. We're close with them.
I love cinnamon roll food General Conference trash talk. It is the best trash talk that exists.
Only at BYU.
Only at Brigham. Yeah,
only at Brigham. Yeah.
Now, I know that you're all in on BYU, and you are a guy that prides himself on staying focused. That said, how much have you paid attention to what your old teammates are doing this season and what they've accomplished on the field?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I keep up with it every single game, and I love those guys, and I want them to be, the second best team in the nation. But it's you see that they are successful and they're doing a lot of good, and I'm proud of the way that they're doing it. And now we just get a good test coming into LaVell Stadium this weekend.
And it's pretty wild too. The change has been dramatic. 6-1, and winning a bunch and throwing a bunch. So what have you noticed from them that's changed?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the mentality, especially that Coach Rolo's put into him. He's a phenomenal coach, and he's kind of taking the wheel in terms of what's going on with the offense. And so as he does that, he's a brilliant mind. And so for them to be able to do what they have, they've had the potential to do it all along. And now that he's really the focus and the one that's behind it all, it's really it's bloomed, I guess would be the best way to put it.
How would you explain the current state of the BYU offense?
Just as good as it's always been, man. And that's the thing is, when you have the opportunity to have a brand new offense and you focus on so many different facets of it, it's maybe hard for people to see because of what's gone on in terms of numbers, but we've progressed in everything every single week in terms of, the passing, the running, the motions, the sweeps, the shifts, all of that stuff. It's not just some offense that you come in and everything's going to work out right away. It has to build and it has to grow, and that's why college football coaches aren't built on one-year contracts. It's big, and so this offense is a foundation's being laid, and we're going to continue to do that, and we're going to execute every week in the best way that we can, so that it is the best option for us to win.
What are a few things that need to be better executed on the field Saturday?
I mean, I think we just, we obviously just need to throw the ball a little bit better. We need to be able to, and that's O-linemen, that's quarterbacks, running backs, and receivers. I think of the things that we did last weekend, and there was some good and there was some bad, and so we need to be able to put that all into one area of good. And it's not going to be perfect, but we need more good than we do bad, and that starts with us as players.
How much have injuries factored into BYU's recent struggles against Washington and Utah State?
Not so much, and I think that's simply just because of the amount of talent that we have here. Not a lot of programs have as much talent as we do, and I know a lot of people will say, how is that the case? You're not even a Power 5, you guys are independent, but what we have here at BYU is discipline, toughness, and there is athleticism. And so when you get all three of those together, which a lot of places don't have all three, and we're lucky enough to have all three, and so the depth of it at each position is impressive.
Buried in the Utah State game is your first career touchdown as a Cougar, is it not? And somewhat bittersweet in that, the score isn't what you want, but what was it like to catch a touchdown for BYU finally?
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I think, my smile expressed it after, and to be able to do that in LaVell Stadium is awesome. Do I wish that it was on the other end and maybe we were up 30? Absolutely. But, it got at least a little bit of momentum going for us, and I think it'll be good going into this week.
What was the rhetoric like from the point of after the game up through now today on Monday, from your coaches to you and what you want to do against Hawaii?
Yeah, I think really it came down to the fact that our coach is letting us know that they trusted us, and they have all the confidence in the world of us, and that, you know, just because we've lost a couple games and we've lost the 2 in a row doesn't mean that we can't come out on top. And so I think their confidence in us and their trust in us, that builds a lot of, you know, confidence in ourselves, and knowing that, you know, even though it's been a little bit of a downtrodden couple weeks, we still have the opportunity to be a very, very good football team, and that's what we're going to do. And so now we just need to relay that to all the players and make that happen.
It feels like this offense has been the success has been contingent on being able to run the ball and then don't turn it over. There have been a couple times, like Saturday or Friday, where the run game isn't there. So how does the offense adjust to, okay, if the run game isn't there, let's still be able to be competitive passing it?
Yeah, and I think that really just comes down to where we start in the week. And, you know, in the last couple of weeks, we've started really well in the pass game and practices and things like that. And then towards the end, it's just a matter of making sure that we stay focused on those types of things. And as players, we need to just have that confidence to know that we can get in a rhythm. No matter at what point the pass game is, you know, becomes into effect and things like that, if the run game isn't there, it's a matter of just as receivers, knowing that we need to be ready at all times, and that can be tough, but it's what you got to overcome to be a great receiving corps.
When there is a conversation emerging and gaining strength about a potential change at quarterback, and really Kalani said at all positions he's considering changes, how do you process that as a player, as a receiver, knowing that, okay, well, I'm just going to go out there and play, but you might be catching balls from 2 different quarterbacks?
Right, and I think that's the way that they've had it really set up all camp long. I mean, we took just as many reps from Zach as we did Tanner, and no matter who's in there, I mean, I genuinely trust both those guys to lead us to where we want to go. And, you know, I think they're both very talented quarterbacks, and I love them both, and they're both great friends and things like that. And so just the opportunity to be able to say, okay, what can I do as an individual to be able to help prepare myself for no matter who's there or what's there or who we're playing against, that just comes down to how you prepare as an athlete and what makes you a good athlete. And if you're going to sit there and focus on little things like that, then it's going to be a rough couple days, and then leading into the game, you're not going to know what's going on. So you can't focus too much on that type of stuff.
We're 6 games into the season, which is pretty wild. There's been some really high highs, some lows. What were some of the highlights from the first 6, in your opinion, that you hope to kind of recreate in the back 6?
Yeah, I think just in terms of the mentality, I think of the way that we went into Wisconsin, the confidence that we had, the confidence that not only us as players had, but coaches and the people around us had. That was probably one of the greatest highlights that I can take away from the 6 games. I think when we did get our pass game going, especially this last week, I mean, we were moving the ball when we were throwing the ball. And so, you know, to see receivers like Leva and Micah and, you know, guys like that just making plays on a consistent basis, that's pretty dang good. And I think the third one would just be the offensive linemen. I mean, those guys work every single day, and they are grinders, and they are very good at what they do. And so as we continue to build off them, then we're going to have a successful next half of the season. And some things that we just need to work on, I think it's just confidence in ourselves, and knowing that no matter what anybody says, this team is a very, very good football team, and we just need to pull it out of ourselves in times of weakness, and that's right now. So we got a good test in front of us.
All right, let's finish with this. Where do you feel like you can exploit Hawaii's defense and have success on Saturday night?
That's a good question. Because they are so sound, I think that, you know, Coach Platoon has come in and he's done a very good job with the defense, and they bring a lot of pressure. But I think over the middle and things like that, they have, you know, weakness because of the amount of pressure that they do bring. But no matter whatever we do, I hope that we can explode, you know, exploit any weakness that they have. But they are a very disciplined and sound defense, and so we just need to be able to take advantage of what we can. I'm
looking forward to a potential Zach Wilson matchup.
Because there's a Zach Wilson playing for Hawaii.
There is a Zach Wilson playing for Hawaii.
He's got 2 interceptions. Same spelling.
Let's hope the other Zach Wilson has 0 interceptions, right?
Yes.
Very different people, though. Very different people.
Are you bringing the cinnamon rolls on Saturday?
I am.
Okay.
I'm bringing them all.
Thanks, Dylan.
No worries.